Divorce is permitted in Islam, but it's not encouraged. But it doesn't make you a blasphemous sinner that you're going to go to hell forever either. Nice balance. How about your neighbors? Regardless of their religion, he's not a believer who fills his stomach at night and his neighbor stays empty. And whoever is a believer is responsible for his whole neighborhood. A neighbor is safe from the hand and tongue of the believer. All of these things were taught to us by Muhammad 1,400 years ago. Peace be upon him. What does that say? Concepts in Islam. Thank you. Needed English translation from Texan. Mankind is one kind. All people are created equal. Original innocence at birth, not original sin. Oneness of message and messengers. No forced conversion in religion. Moderation of church and state. A complete way of life. A religion, a government, as a complete way of life all at once. This is the concept. Now that one stayed up long enough. I could have talked a little bit now. Some of these are faster than others. You notice that? Zap in, zap out. Now we're going to talk about what? Women. This is the fastest part. I can't handle this. Islam gives the highest respect to women in society. Men and women are equal before God. Women are not blamed for the original sin. Suffering during pregnancy and childhood is not a punishment. Muslim women cover their heads in scarves called hijab. Rules for modest dress apply to women and men equally. Entitled to education, owning businesses, inheritance work, and all other rights, including the right to vote over 1,400 years ago. Didn't have to do women's suffrage. I'm just touching on these. Obviously, you want to know more. That's why we want you to go to the website, Islam Tomorrow, and pick it up in detail. Again, talking about women, Islam is very clear, encouraging us to have the ultimate respect and honor for them, starting with our mothers and going right on down the line to our wives and our daughters. I want to talk about Islam and other faiths. Christians and Jews are highly respected. Islam orders justice for non-Muslims. Islamic State protects all the non-Muslims. In Islamic society, gives charity to them. Here's a good one. Big old red letters. Islam versus terrorism. By the way, it happens to be forbidden in Islam at all times. Because Islam, remember, is about submission and peace with God. So terrorists are actually enemies of Islam. Suicide is forbidden in Islam. And killing innocent people is the same as if you killed the whole world. This is forbidden always. Let's talk about a fact. Islam declared the first war against terrorism over 1,400 years ago. It's called jihad. What's jihad? Jihad actually is struggling or striving for something, fighting against evil. The first level is to fight against the evil inside yourself. The second one is the evils in the society. And the third we're going to mention here is on the battlefields where you have to come up against evil enemies. The valid reasons for jihad are self-defense and defense of others, removal of oppression and persecution, and to stop human tyranny and aggression, and to fight all forms of evil and terrorism. What's the rules? First, you have to offer your enemies the opportunity to accept Islamic society. Otherwise, they can live peacefully with us. Or else, if they want to continue the evil, then you can fight in the battlefields against them. But the etiquettes are, you have to seek peace first before any war. You have to respect all treaties at all times. Any war is declared openly and not vigilante. We have to spare and protect all the innocents. Children, women, and elderly are protected during the war, enemy or otherwise. The orders of jihad: never kill innocent people, never injure prisoners of war, never kill animals, never destroy crops, never destroy the infrastructures, never mutilate bodies of enemies. All prisoners are given fair treatment. Women and children are protected from harm. Always bury all dead with respect. 1,400 years before the Geneva Convention. In writing. Fact. Jihad is a war against terrorism. So put it in perspective. Now let's talk about Muslims in America. I should say America, because I'm from Texas. I don't pronounce it. 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed over here from what was Muslim Spain. His navigator happened to be a Muslim by the name of Muhammad. That's who brought him over here. 1600s, the African Muslims were brought here in America as slaves. They were Muslims from Africa. 1800s, the immigrant Muslims started arriving to the States. 1900s, first mosque in America. In 1990, to date, till now, Islam happens to be the fastest growing religion in the United States. Muslim communities are noted for what? This is from police statistics. Most peaceful in the U.S. Lower incidence of alcohol and drug abuse. Lower family abuse. The lower sexual crimes. Higher education, and more of the Muslims are professionals, doctors, engineers, and business owners. And by the way, it's much better in Muslim countries. We're at our worst over here. Talk about the mosque, the imam. The mosque is just a place to worship. It is to the Muslims like the Christian church or the synagogue of the Jews. The most sacred happens to be in Mecca, and then Medina, and then Jerusalem. All Muslims pray the Friday prayers in congregation. There are more than 1,600 masjids in America. The imam is a religious community leader who leads the prayer and leads the Muslims in their faith. Hey, here's a picture, by the way, of the sacred mosque at Mecca. That's the Kaaba, or the cube, and that little black thing there in the center. This is the Medina Masjid, where the Prophet, peace be upon him, was. Now, at his time, of course, it didn't look like this. Now, this is Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. We talk about Muslims in the U.S. We happen to have lost a lot of people, too, by the way. On September 11th, 500 of the 2,800 that died happened to be Muslim. The first widow of the World Trade Center disaster was that gave birth was a Muslim woman. Over $10 million was donated immediately by Muslims, and Muslims donated blood and services for our doctors and nurses who were there on the spot at the time, as well as firemen and police too. Point here we're saying is everybody's lost something. We've all lost a lot. So why do we want to continue to lose more? That doesn't really make sense. Okay, here comes a commercial. Bottom line, make a note of my email if you want to write to me. Also, our website, you want to note it, islamtomorrow.com. Our other website, todayislam.com, coincidentally was destroyed on September 11th this past week. That's all right. We got enough of that. Learn more about Islam by visiting our website. And while you're there, ask for a free Quran. So this is a part of the Watch and Learn series. And it's a presentation in the Islam Media Foundation, and that's at the end.